Here we go.
Okay, everybody ready? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Where's mine?
Home with a sick dog.
Not too bad.
So she says, yeah.
Sick as it?
No, he's
Okay.
15 and a half. And
So has everybody had a chance to read through the minutes from June 5th?
Yes, ma'am.
Looking for a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
1 point,
Okay.
and that was the, when we were talking about the short-term rentals, in April, there was a delay with the attorney getting information. I'd like to omit that line because that wasn't the primary reason that we didn't go ahead that night.
So where are you?
I'm
Oh,
under
okay, I found
public
the second
hearing,
paragraph.
short-term rentals.
In April, there was a delay with attorney getting information.
Yeah, I mean, that's like beating up the attorney because
Yeah.
we said it the month before. And she,
Well, would you like to move that amendment, to amend that line out?
please, I'd like to move that we remove the line that says in April there was a delay with the attorney getting information.
Second. Just bracket
Okay.
that, bracket it for Stephanie.
Okay. Anything else, anybody? Okay, that's it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, highway.
okay, so we'll go first back into old news. The cemetery issue, as of I just found out Sunday, I was going to say this weekend, was resolved. The headstone was moved and placed in the correct location
Yesterday.
Monday.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on
On Juneteenth?
on
Yes.
Juneteenth.
Okay.
Moving on to that, I found out that our project on Fish Mountain Road has now been moved out to August. They are expecting it 4 to 6 weeks long, so that probably gonna put it through Labor Day. But I'm not gonna hold them up because we wanna get the project done and then paid and then us paid
Okay.
in this fiscal year.
Yes.
So, the Fawn Lake project that we will be doing that we've already paid for by FEMA, I'm late July starting that also. So like the 22nd or 3rd, whatever that Monday is, somewhere in there. That's culvert change that we purchased last year.
Will I close up the road or can you do that?
No, what we're doing, Fawn Lake, we're doing, one lane at a time. Because there's residents and stuff, we're gonna have to keep
Right.
fire and ambulance and all that going. We did it, when we put those 3 in years back, we did it one, well, you were here.
I was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, you were here.
You were probably there.
I was there.
We've been doing mowing at cemeteries. Now that it dried out today, we noticed that it's really growing. Also, the big thing that we've done is to pave the top course of Hamilton Lake Road. Mile and a half of blacktop. I want to send out thank yous to all the towns and communities and such that helped, including Indian Lake, the county, Long Lake, Arietta. And a special thank you, because this has never happened before, but Newcomb sent 4 trucks down,
Wow.
and the state of New York sent 4 trucks.
I'm happy for the contribution of time and effort. Do we usually step out of the county line for this sort of reciprocal?
Nope. But this year, the county is organizing all the trucks.
Right.
So we are going throughout our county, and basically a group of trucks of 24 are moving around from town to town to town, and we're all done it for this, organization. Just spring or summer batch of paving, and then we'll do it again in the fall, as roads get prepared to be paved.
So Tracy's lining that up.
Well, one of Tracy's, Ben Short is doing it.
Right, okay.
One of his people,
Super.
and they are more than willing anytime you'd like to help.
Isn't it amazing
That's
that,
wonderful.
that Newcomb, you've all been through Newcomb? Well, if you blinked, you
Yeah.
didn't see it, but
Newcomb has some nice trucks.
They sure do.
But I know that they
Gorgeous.
massage
Yeah.
the state, but 4 tandems?
No, 3 tandems and a triaxle.
Newcomb is the triaxle. Remember that discussion?
Newcomb has a lot of money.
Yes, now I do, but I didn't, but
Beautiful trucks.
where did they
Beautiful
get
truck.
this? I mean, this,
They're
could this be
maroon
back for the
color.
video they made? You don't remember that, do you?
No.
When George Cannon was still there.
No.
Oh, the road?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
video
highway.
on
Yeah.
the, whatever, 9WN.
Oh,
whatever it was.
that, yeah.
Yeah, that shot right to the second floor in Albany, and
Quickly.
bang, it was all
It was
fixed.
done.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of cake.
Yeah.
We're talking about $1 million worth of
Yep.
trucks.
What towns did you say?
What towns did I say?
You said
In-
Newcomb, Long Lake,
Indian-
Indian Lake,
Yeah, Arietta, it's the state of New York,
yeah,
and of course the county.
yeah.
has
okay.
the- has
Well,
the-
I missed area.
The
well,
county has the
usual
biggest
suspects,
group, they
right?
sent 7 trucks plus 2 trailers, which is 2 trucks each, so technically they sent 11 trucks to us,
Right.
the county.
Where'd you get it, the blacktop from now?
Out of, down by, the traffic circle, Broad Alban. Turn left at the, go south on 29, it's the first road on your left, there's a plant down there. So,
And you guys were still at it when I went through in the evening.
yes, we finished around 5:30. Yeah, which was better than what they did last Thursday. Out there, they were still out there at 7 o'clock at night, but
Yeah, you can
they
tell.
have
It's
intersections and they paved the entrance to the fire department. They did a lot of stuff. This was back up, drop it, and we paved it in one section. In doing that, we had a little, I met the new person for head honcho of Hamilton Lake,
Lady.
young lady. She was very willing to assist us because she wanted the road repaved.
Oh, I bet she's very happy.
We had the first and only delivery that day because they had people coming in, so we had to work around a delivery truck getting in there, which they called, had the salesman have them here at 7 o'clock in the morning. And they went in one gate, we paved up to that gate, we didn't even have to wait, he came back out that gate and everything was good. What happened at the end of the day was another story. We had one of the employees come out, instead of waiting for us to organize how we did the first group. We had all their employee cars parked out beyond, and they just had a couple staff vehicles that they were gonna move out. And the second group of people, the employee decided to go around the roller
Oh.
and drive up to the paper.
Oh, no.
So then they backed up because they realized they were sinking in the blacktop.
So they made 2 tracks.
So they backed back up and we rolled it and then got them around the paver. They told me they were gonna call me when they were ready to come out and they did not. So needless to say, on a rainy day, sun hitting just right, you can see 2 tracks.
Well, that's too bad. Hey,
To
When you
the
do- when you
untrained
do
eye,
it,
you'll
yeah,
never
yeah.
notice it, so it's,
Yeah.
we'll let it go, but.
They're the ones that use it.
Yeah, exactly, they're the ones in and out of it, so. Besides for that, everything went super, so, very, very happy.
And paving's done now?
Paving.
For now.
For now, yep.
well, I just wanna.
All the shared services is done till probably September, October.
Well, as you described at the last meeting, the tremendous new system for paving on 30, I have had occasion between Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I've been up and down that road today, time and time and time. It is a pleasure, I mean, it's nowhere finished, of course, but to be on the stuff that they've already gassed up.
Makes you
it's
wanna move over
spectacular.
and good stuff.
Right, if you're on the other side, yeah, we're coming northbound, it's delightful. And they're moving along, and that system is pretty damn cool. I would not wanna be standing there with
Working.
shorts on, I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
those operators.
I would not wanna
one
be the
on each
workers.
one.
Yeah.
So hot, but
Yeah.
hey,
I took a picture of it.
Did you?
We flew over it.
Yeah, and the biggest, everybody was saying why they were shutting down when it rained and stuff in the last couple weeks. Come to find out, it was not the rain that they were shutting down for. I found this out. It is the supplier of the oil for them is Suitcoat, and they had a little bit of a problem getting it here on time. So that's why that one Friday it was sunny and beautiful, they weren't working, they had to work Saturday, that was the big reason. So, see if they get that
Seem
worked.
to
on
be
state dime.
schedule.
Yep.
Where are they from, do you know?
Nope.
Because I know the one flagger there, oh, they were in Black Flies when they were working, the end of Black Flies. He had his hood right around,
Yeah,
and he's standing there.
looked like one of the guys from South Park.
Yeah, now he's got a net over his head. Kinda like the Black
You
Fly.
wanna say,
with the-
not from around here, huh, son?
Yeah,
That's all for me.
That's it for you.
no building.
Okay. Okay, so next thing, some of this information you guys know, but I'm gonna reiterate it again.
Yeah, when they're really good things.
Yes, after meeting last week with the county chairman Brian Wells and Joseph Zilowski from DEC, the outcome was 5 campgrounds in Hamilton County will be open until Columbus Day. Louis Lake, Moffett Beach, Lake Eaton, 8th Lake, and Indian Lake Island. The lifeguard is still iffy. DEC is looking at the legal options of opening their beaches unsupervised. We'll keep everyone in the loop as this decision comes down. Just want to thank everybody for the letters they wrote, the phone calls they made. You didn't give up, and it really made a tremendous difference because we were all consistent and it paid off. We were getting reports that DEC website would not allow anyone to make reservations. So this morning I contacted Brian Wells because I heard a lot about it this weekend. So I'm going to read this. This just happened today at 10:30. This is the answer. Good morning. Playing phone tag with Joe Z about campgrounds. Last message I got from him is there will be a press release next week, the week of the 26th, and then the DEC website and reservation system will be updated, and they will also be promoting the changes. Thank you, Brian.
Week of the 26th.
The week of the 26th.
Which is leading
Next
up
we'll
to
be on
4th
it.
of July.
Right. Right. Everybody's been calling and
Well, yeah,
saying, hey.
I've been checking, the Reserve America and they still stayed on it that
Yeah.
they will be closed Labor Day.
Yeah, so just that everybody knows that, if people say anything, give them that information, get it out there.
They will have it available on Reserve America that week, or is it, they're just making an
I'm saying.
announcement?
If they're
No,
saying
saying
it's
it
on
will be
their
on the website
reservation
slash-
system,
yeah.
it will be updated and they will also be promoting the
Sunday
changes.
night.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just very,
Get
very
the good,
nice
good
Yeah.
sites.
to
Yeah,
see
I
a
know which
local
ones I want.
initiative from so
There's only
many
3 that
people
I fit in.
working at it for something
Yes.
to work. It kind of is the only way you can turn that battleship around when the state has made, you know, a
just
faulty
wanna
mistake.
say, we really need to pay attention to make sure that they don't try to, somewhere down the road, say, well, you know, the campgrounds aren't full enough. Of course they're not, because people can't make reservations at this point.
I mean, every-
So we have to pay attention to that too, that this
Diligent.
isn't part of a plan for next year.
Right.
Because the numbers were down, so we all have to really pay attention to that, and maybe I shouldn't be saying that over there, but I did. Anyway,
No, it's just, I think
It's the truth.
it's trust but verify.
Uh,
That's the way that stuff works.
okay. So next I have the RO system, so,
I just wanted to mention
I'm
that.
sorry.
I knew about it before the employees at Muppet Beach knew about it.
really,
There you go.
well, I tried to
Yeah.
get it to all you guys,
still don't know
and
about
John
it.
Lane and Casey
They're
right
getting told
away.
all kinds of weird stuff, 'cause I got blasted.
Well, yeah, he came this morning, he got me in trouble, I said, what did I say? I really thought I said something wrong, and then he started talking, I said, oh, wait a minute, I got an email here. So, yeah, I did too,
Yeah.
so.
I had it on Facebook long before the employees at
Yeah,
Louis
because
Lake.
we were
Okay,
there.
so I just want to clarify something else now that you mentioned Facebook, because I did get a phone call from someone questioning me because they understood that the mayor and myself went down to Albany to DEC, and we are the ones that got this straightened out.
I wonder who could
That
have generated
is-
something like that.
That is not, that is false. It was definitely, the final straw was Brian Wells in a meeting
With
Right.
with Joe.
You never
You're
know.
not saying the mayor went by herself. You're not saying that. I'm asking her a question.
No, because Jeanette was just as surprised when I emailed her to give her the information. She
She
was
did.
just as happy.
She did post it on the Speculator Lake Pleasant Facebook page.
Good, good.
So she made
Yeah,
that
I'm not posting
information
it,
known.
because then you'll have too many people making reservations.
No, we wanna book these places up, we want them busy.
After I make mine,
He
I
gets
will.
his, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Sunday night, I'm gonna start checking.
But kudos to everybody, really,
Absolutely.
everybody.
Good morning.
everybody in our
That was a really
communities,
deep dive.
communities.
Like I said, there's only
Community.
three
County,
sites that I can
Yep.
visit.
downstate, they were helping.
Were they?
So-
Excellent.
Yes, yes, Catskills was
And then
helping a
there's one
lot
over
because they were
when you
concerned
first
it was
go in.
gonna gravitate
You
down.
know what flows
Brooklyn?
downhill?
Yeah.
I guess it is.
Oh,
Right,
profits you're
so-
talking.
Reservations.
Oh, I'm talking
Yeah.
Louis.
I can't
Okay.
go in Louis.
Okay, so next, RO system. So Bill Duvendorf and I went up to the future home of Adirondack Sweets and Treats, the doggy daycare that's coming, the old Waller barn, to test the water last week. Wonderful news. The barn was part of the original salt contamination settlement that we all knew, but the tests showed no evidence of salt, so no system is needed to be installed there. So this is the last property named in the suit that we have not had to address. So this is wonderful news. The extra one we have on the shelf is still on the shelf.
Good news.
Very good.
Has he, what would you say, when was the last time, I should know this, but when was the last time that Bill, did our wellhead?
It's gotta be 2 years
I was
ago.
gonna say 2 or 3.
2 years ago.
Cause that was clearing, but not
Not, yeah,
yet there.
yeah.
That's one of those things that, we can, a couple of years from now, we should do
Definitely.
again
Yep.
and start
Absolutely.
checking places off as they clear
Yep.
themselves.
So the next thing is the community garden. At the last meeting, I had reported that we would be installing a new fence around the garden. June Burkholz has suggested that we wait until September, once the gardens are pretty much done. So we're looking at 14 gauge, 5 foot high, and also possibly vinyl galvanized. In the meantime, I gave everybody a copy. Randy, did you want a copy?
No.
Okay. Soil and Water has been working on this project, and it actually came out early this morning. We can apply for a grant as a municipality,
Sure.
up to $2,000. I contacted Caitlin, I talked to her this morning, and absolutely we can. And it's minimal work, as you see in this paperwork, to do.
This is a pretty simple grant app right there.
Absolutely.
This is the whole thing right here?
This is the whole thing.
Wow.
And the funding
And the
comes
funding
from?
comes from Soil and Water. At our county soil and water meetings each month, we will be going through the grants and approving and whatever. I happen to sit on that board, so of course I will be abstaining, and I don't think that I should be putting my name as a contact name. And unless I'm looking into this too much, I was hoping one of the board members would volunteer. You sure, Kat? Okay. It's really a breeze, and I told Caitlin I would talk to her. She's in meetings and out of the office all week this week, that I would talk to her next week, but I'd like to move it along fairly quick. But I'll be talking with June Berkowitz again tomorrow morning, and then we will, know, we've gotta get, a bill,
An
estimate from the company, that we're going with, which should be a lot cheaper than Home Depot or Lowe's, because it's a family friend that owns the business.
If you would just share her contact information
I'll
with me.
gladly do it.
I'll-
She'll be up tomorrow. She just called this afternoon and said she'd be up tomorrow and she'll be in touch, so I will connect you and her, and that would be great, and then it kind of leaves me out of that loop.
Can we buy something like that on state contract? Or
I
no?
don't see why not.
We should be able, I mean, I can get it priced, but if you have a connection of that, it might not be any better, but I can,
Yeah, state contract's just gonna be, one of those bigger entities that
Yeah.
quoted price, but
You get
nice to
cheaper-
know we had a friend.
Okay,
cheaper
so,
prices, yeah.
Yeah, because then you can use those numbers because it's firm.
yes, so, okay, so I'll get that information for you.
I need to know what.
How many
kind of
Size and all that. Let me
size,
talk to
length,
June
height.
tomorrow morning, and I'll get all that information from you, and I'm gonna get it for Kathy, and she can
Is
take it away.
5 foot really high enough?
For the deer?
Yeah.
Depends on how high your plants are.
Well, you also have to put some underground, am I correct?
Correct.
So that something can't dig and get under
Right.
it.
Rabbits, moles.
Yeah, because
Woodchuck.
they're having problems with woodchucks.
Woodus chuckus.
There's a
And-
way to fix that.
And they
Same-
had live
same way
traps,
you
but
fix beavers.
didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except you can't
but-
discharge a firearm in the village.
but,
Well, with a permit you can.
Oh, what happened?
We shot
Oh,
geese
yes.
on the point.
Yeah, yeah,
But-
you get a kill permit.
Okay, so, for now, basically then, Kathy has volunteered to take it over and I'll be in touch.
I assume,
And,
gardening is not my strongest thing. I assume that's because in the fall, they expect the stuff to be harvested and
Yes.
bigger and whatnot. What kind of protection do they have? I've been down there. What kind of protection do they see
it's an
now?
old rickety fence,
Right, but
that-
for the
that is
little
very
bugs, right? You
thin.
get the bugs, then they,
very thin, that anything can dig their way through.
Gotcha.
And they do, it's pretty bad. And that's why she had 5 openings this year. People felt it was a waste of time because of the woodchucks. So we were hoping to get it done earlier in the year, but we were not able to get the quotes that we needed. So that's the story with that.
well,
Next thing,
happy to help with the install in September.
okay, perfect. I will too. Next under new business, Pretty Good Band. So I've been working with the Pretty Good Band and Steve Sawn on liability insurance. In the past, the town has paid their liability insurance.
Did I miss the, Nathan
We wanna
contract.
table the NLH, we haven't had that final meeting.
Oh,
Nathan
I put it
Latour,
on there, did I?
did.
I'm sorry. Yes, we need to table that.
That's
We
what I
have not heard anything at all. Let me just go back to here. Sorry, guys. So the Nathan Latour, we're still waiting to finish up the proposed changes on our clinic contract. And I have been asked if it is possible to post the clinic hours. So once we have completed the contract, we will post them on our website and we will also see that they're posted on the clinic door. So, sorry about that, guys.
I mean, it's going much better than the other girl back, but next time.
Yes, it is. But the problem is when we completed our part of it and we sent it down, Patrice was on vacation, McMahon, who handles it, she was on vacation and didn't come back until the 14th. So
She's got a lot of catch up to do.
she has a lot of catch up to do. So I'm not surprised. I didn't expect it this week before the meeting. That's why I'm sorry I didn't have it on my agenda. But anyway, okay. Under new business, the Pretty Good Band. So like I said, I've been working with the Pretty Good Band and Steve Sawn on the liability insurance. This group really has no way of making money. They're terrific with their concerts for our community. People love it. And they don't charge for them. So if we were to decide, and again, this is something we're not going to make a decision tonight because I'm still waiting on Steve Sawn. But what I'm looking at is if we were to decide to fund the band in an amount, a dollar amount that it would cost them for their insurance, that would then help because then we would be a sponsor and we're not exposing the town to any potential liability. And this was Steve Sawn's recommendation.
So we would
Rather
fund the
than
band
us.
for the amount of the insurance.
That the insurance would cost,
Yeah.
we'd give it to them and it's their policy.
Yeah.
So they would just pay for it, pay the policy, it's in their name, it has nothing to do with the town.
Several of us were concerned that if we paid them directly, that somehow we take on some of the liability, which I don't really know what liability, a marching band and a sitting band has, but we have precedent here. This town board for many, many years has donated money to the village's doings for fireworks and the like of that. I see this, seeing as how we have such a shortage of cultural things here, if we're gonna adopt these guys and make it so that it's something that the community gets behind, they are, as I say, our marching band. They do glean a few people for the creche, what do they call it, the lighting of the Christmas tree, et cetera, et cetera. We're anticipating this not to be a great deal of money. Again, what liability do they have? School, I'm not throwing them under the bus because I don't know all the details, but the school is now sort of making you carry your own insurance to do anything there.
right,
So if it's not the kids, plays themselves or whatever, so it's kind of a fine line. I don't know why the umbrella in our community school can't cover all these things, but truth be known, that would still only be the concert as opposed to when they
March and, yeah, when they do the other things, when they show up. So, I agreed with Betsy and Steve saying, well, perhaps we can just be a sponsor, and make a donation that they don't take any money home, they just insure themselves.
So, and this policy would be a year-round policy, but right now, all their equipment and everything is at the church on Elm Lake Road because they're practicing there because the school is under big renovations. So they cannot use the school at this time, but later on in the year, they will be able to once the renovations are complete. So they're gonna have to have that insurance.
So nobody's asking for a dollar amount from the board at this point, just I think trying to
No,
get
it's just,
feedback from you guys.
Absolutely.
If you feel that it's worthwhile supporting them.
I truthfully was hoping, and I had talked to the county, and we could have thrown together a voucher today for the amount, and done a separate bill pay if we had approved it for the dollar amount. But I did not hear back from Steve, and they needed it for the 22nd, from what Kurt had said.
2 days from now.
2 days from now, so I wanted to be ahead of the game tonight. Today's the 20th. I wanted to be ahead tonight so that the check could be written tomorrow and they would have it for the 22nd for their insurance, but,
Yeah, we need an amount.
Yeah,
you know.
but, we can't do an open check, but
Absolutely. So I have nothing to go by at this point.
Do we even know a ballpark? I mean, can we say something not to exceed X amount?
Yes, you
It's
can.
one company, yes, and I have it here from one company, which was not Steve, and I'm figuring Steve is probably less. It was like $400 and some dollars. It was a company from out of the area that they had originally checked with. Where is it?
when you get to it,
It was-
they mention it as an umbrella, kind of a, and Steve does good on verbiage on this, but if you get other
Okay,
quotes.
so this was a quote from Eastern Mutual Insurance Company,
Okay, use it before.
and it was $415. So,
Can I make a motion not to exceed $500?
Well, if they go that high, we might as well go with this.
Well, but, let the quotes come in, because Steve may beat this, and he probably will.
But just a not to exceed.
I think it's the expeditious way to do it done. I agree.
I'd like
So
to
do you,
support
actually.
this group,
yeah,
so I'll
okay.
second that motion.
Okay, and Kathy seconds. Okay, so now, if I get a call tomorrow, which I tried to pursue it today too, but if I do get a call tomorrow, I can actually just call up to county, because we'll have a resolution stating that we will not exceed $500, so they could do a check. Am
When
I
they have
correct?
When they have the number,
When they have, yes, when I get the number.
yes.
What-
Because then I can give them this resolution
That'll
showing,
cover it for sure.
because that would cover it.
What code does this come out of?
Well, it would probably, I don't know the numbers, but it would be
I'm
the
not
same
sure,
one
but,
as the donations for fireworks and so on. It's sort of a cultural.
Okay.
and I will tell you, I discussed that with the county too, and they saw no issue with that, we could.
Well, towns do it all the time.
Yeah, that was not an issue. The issue
And the
was
money exists.
to be able to pull it off last minute if we had to.
It does in June. December gets almost good.
Okay, okay. Okay, so,
Sorry.
anything else anybody wants to add to that?
Well, we didn't have a second yet, I
Just
don't
something to
think.
Yeah,
I
Kathy
think Kathy
seconded.
seconded.
Second,
I
okay.
seconded.
Kathy seconded, okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed?
Well, Rochelle can't oppose it.
She would.
She not here.
No, of course not.
Okay, next is committee reports. Kathy, you have anything for youth rec?
Nope, cemetery's covered and youth rec is, just, they're firming up things and Samantha's gonna meet with the two kids once they're free. I mean, school ending and graduation's done and all of
Okay.
that stuff before we kick off.
And what day do we actually kick off? I have to have a start date for
I don't have my phone with
personnel and,
me.
okay, can you get that for me?
I will.
Okay.
It's that schedule that I sent you.
Oh,
has-
starting date for the hires.
The hires, yeah, I have to have it for personnel and also Josh at county in the treasurer's
It's
office.
on so would it be the meeting date or would it be the first scheduled activity date?
First scheduled
first day
activity
they're on
date,
payroll.
their first
Okay, I
payroll date.
sent everyone the schedule, so you can just look on that.
Okay,
There you go. Yeah, they probably won't show up if we're not paying them.
They won't twice, probably.
okay,
You get them the first time.
Yeah,
okay. Okay,
Every 2 weeks, so we get 4 out.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
so Neil, anything?
Job, nothing.
Nothing.
Ma'am, I'm looking at the new surroundings and thinking, my goodness, we're gonna get out here in the light.
Randy,
Longest
anything?
day tomorrow.
Not on committee.
Yeah,
Nothing. Don, anything?
no, all my committees are running smoothly. I have not heard
Indeed
of
they
that.
are.
Nice,
I was gonna say
nice,
that about it.
nice. Staff, you wanna add anything?
No, we're doing
Committee?
good. Cemeteries are doing good.
Don't rock it if you don't have to.
Everybody's dead there.
Okay, so next I'm looking for a motion to pay the bills. We'll do both abstracts together. One was dated June 12th, which was the wire transfers that the county does, and the other one is a regular bill pay dated June 15th.
So moved.
Okay? Second, Kathy? Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Gary, public comment, you have
Thank you
anything?
for the signatures on the receipts.
Oh, nice, yes.
So as a member of the Pretty Good Band myself, I'd like to thank the board for thinking of us.
Okay,
I really appreciate it.
It's been a sticky thing for them. And again, the last thing you wanna do is get into a taffy pull with the school district and the school boards and whatnot. We just want these things to flourish, you know?
You know,
well, like we said, it's a wonderful thing they do for the community.
Yeah, of course it is.
People love it, so,
Gary's.
Yeah, once you graduate from high school, most people don't continue. I mean, where am I gonna get a bassoon?
Bassoon, there you go, okay. You want any of that Walt Disney?
okay, so we'll get into roundtable.
I have one, but I can go first.
Okay, Neil first,
No,
roundtable.
I wanna hear what Randy has to say.
Oh, jeez.
Kathy?
Randy?
I don't wanna step on anybody's toes at anything, so I'll let Randy go.
Well, mine is gonna be throw you guys right out of the loop, and I'm not asking for any kind, that's why I'm waited to roundtable resolution or anything, but it's been brought to my attention this weekend that the New York State grant program is up and running again for what the clubs and we, the town, should be, and we did last 2 years ago, applying for grants for the groomers. I knew that was gonna wind you up. So, it's, used to be I believe, can't quote me on this, but I believe it was an 80-20 grant before, and now they are saying matching funds is the word terminology.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Right. So it appears they have dropped the 80-20 thing that they used to be,
Yeah.
and now
They
it's,
just don't support
now it's
a
50-50.
billion-dollar industry, the way they should.
Right. It comes from the federal, DOT, actually, the money, so I don't know, why it all changed or
So,
whatever, but
no Parks and Rec New York money in that?
it's all
Jesus.
federal money.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's all federal money. I'm just asking what this board, I don't wanna go through the months long of paperwork on the computer to apply for this grant and we get to that point.
Well, can I back it, the logic from another way?
Yep,
What are our greatest needs?
Yeah, I thought we were pretty good.
I thought we
Did
were.
too.
we are at this point.
Yeah,
I agree with that statement 100%.
Well, I'm just- no, I'm
Knock
just
on
trying to
wood.
lay in a
The only
baseline
thing
here.
we would be doing is selling something that
Sure,
I feel that, upgrading, yeah.
So this sort of program, which the state obviously is just a middleman, do they make this open to our other two clubs?
Yes, it's open to everybody in New York State at this point.
Okay.
It just went out.
Legitimate groomer.
Yeah, it just went out and it's based on the numbers that come in and how many, the needs, they how grant programs points.
Sure, but none of the funds that would funnel back to these clubs, some of them, of course, are, the integral part of snowmobiling in the state. None of that's coming out of the registration funds or any of that.
No.
That's just wrong.
No, the registration goes back to the clubs directly
No, I know.
for all their stuff like that, based on membership. You have this many members, you get this much money, and so on and so forth. That's the state's end of it, when you pay any registration. This
$100.
money is coming from the feds to the state's supposed to disperse it.
I've never really trusted that sort of matrix.
Myself, I don't like the idea of matching grants.
No,
I like the 80-20,
Right,
so I would
especially-
like to see us skip over it myself.
Yeah.
Especially since we're in a good position, when we looked at purchasing the
Right.
groomer from Inlet, one of the things that Randy told me, you know, other than maybe a track here and there and, you know, replacing whatever that needed to be done, that our machines were in good shape. I'd rather not cut the throat on our local clubs by stepping on their toes.
Well, right now, we're in pretty good shape, and of course, we can always upgrade.
always go
This,
next year.
this sort of stuff will always be there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right,
the matching
typically
will
every
always
2
be.
years, they skipped 1 year,
Yeah.
4 years ago, but that one batch, but ever since, I think they're boasting this, since 1980 something, they've been doing this and blah, 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 they
It's
promote
just,
it right
you know,
up to.
Pieces of equipment
So-
that are
And you may
anywhere from
find unless
60 to
somebody,
100 grand
clubs
more.
or other towns are desperate and really need something, they're not gonna go for the matching grant, they're gonna wait and hope it goes back to the 80-20.
right, but I think we're pretty much set with groomers,
Me
we got
too.
the 2 100s, and we got the 200, and then we've got, what, one?
110 for,
110 as a backup.
Sure, and like Kev says,
So there-
it's not like we're not gonna
No.
fund in budget, we're not gonna fund the 30, 40, 50, I mean, we spend a lot of money keeping those
right.
up and going and fixed and, you know, whatnot. And that's, to me, I always would support that. But going out and getting the next new Cadillac or, you know, whatever.
Right,
Well, that's why I brought it up in
I
this,
agree.
cause I'm
Thank
like,
you.
I just,
Yep.
I'm assuming it would have to be a new machine.
no, no, because the clubs both bought used
Oh.
machines when they did
Well,
that.
but you know, Don, the used
Quote,
ones,
unquote,
used ones
refurbished.
are still in the 20, 30, 40, 50,000
Oh,
dollar
at
range,
least,
you know?
yeah, at
Well,
least.
at least, at least.
What'd you say?
I'm talking about the smaller trade stuff.
100?
I know
Well-
we're going to get a piston bully for $500,000.
Well, what Dragon them have been granting in is 120, 130,000. That's the monies they've been spending on them.
Right, and we've been known to do everything from, you know, borrowing money and putting it across 5 years worth of payments and so on. We do what we have to do for snowmobile. I wish that up the chain, county usually divorces themselves from this, but at state, again, I just point out, it's a plus $billion industry. And that's obviously, I mean, somebody might ride on Long Island, but it's in this state, mostly Finger Lakes, Catskills, you
Up
know,
here.
the flats and here.
Well, I'm just glad to see that we're all in total agreement, we all feel the
Yeah.
same way,
But
so
yeah,
that's
that's
good, and it's
right.
good that
It's
you
not
brought
a
it
good
up.
deal.
In this,
Right.
in this
Right.
group.
That's why I
right.
brought up, definitely when I read the whole, it's, quote,
Yeah.
highlights
I
matching
mean,
funds.
He's a friend of
Matching
snowmobile.
grants.
I'm like,
She's a friend of snowmobile. I'm a friend of snowmobile.
Mm-hmm.
We all, you know,
Yeah.
understand how it fits into our economy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't think the state, it's a disconnect. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they do.
Stephanie,
Still.
you're waving something?
I don't wanna forget this. We got this today, it just came in the mail. Your first law for 2023 has been
Okay.
filed with the state, and we got this back. So they have accepted it, we're good to go, so now.
So this is the zoning?
The zoning and
Oh, yay.
codes,
Okay.
updates. Now Steve is still making
2023 number
some
one.
grammatical, changes in that. He's still finishing up
He's very accurate.
the edits, yes,
Steve
because
who?
he found
Page.
that the old
Oh,
one had some writing that wasn't written.
But it's not
exactly.
changing the
It's
context
not
of anything,
changing
it's
any
just
context,
a
right?
word
It's just
here or there, that's
grammatical
all.
stuff.
Like
so,
apostrophes.
and once he has
Yeah.
that done, he'll have it
He's very
do it to us,
particular.
and then we gotta print it up and. that'll
So
be
that was very quick,
set.
cause we just mailed that on the 9th.
Yeah,
So that was really quick.
quicker
Has-
than last year's.
Has
law.
the STR one gone
State's
out?
always been.
No.
efficient.
That has not gone out. That has to
You
wait
know,
45 days.
45
This one only
days.
had to
45
wait
days.
20
This was,
days.
yeah.
The Department of
So-
State has always been faster with
See,
stuff like
Kath, ours
that
is new.
than any other department.
That one, we were just updating,
Updating.
so that's why that one was a
In
lot
order
less
to
time.
complete the STR one though, I do need to get that in a Word document form from you so that I can put the resolution in with the law. That has to all go as one piece.
Okay, so,
Done.
Don, you're next.
No,
Oh, it's it's
Okay.
washing back around,
Okay,
is it?
Kathy,
no,
Come on, Randy.
no, I'm done.
Yeah, we've already been around.
Besides for
once.
us adopting off Moffitt's Beach Road, I mean,
Nothing new.
Yeah, this was way more boring than I'd hoped.
Okay, Neil?
It seemed like it was gonna be something good.
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I think we should somehow, exclamation point about your old business number one. This is monumental might be too strong, but this is a landmark victory for small municipal government. I've been at this in different capacities for a long time, and it rarely goes this way. Once they have said from on high, it didn't really have a lot of logic to it, but nevertheless, this was a cooperative, wonderful intermunicipal effort, and always all the public.
Right.
I was
again,
smiling
it
for
was
2 or 3 days after.
Like, yeah, I think everybody was. I mean, it was like the emails that were coming in was like, it's just too good to be true, and
Yeah.
and it does sound too good to be true, but really it's because we all kept on it. Whether
Yes.
it was letter writing, whether
Yes.
it was phone calls, whether it was the postcards, and it wasn't just local government, it was local businesses, and like I said, it was actually out of county, down in the Catskills that were pushing
Right.
for it, so a
Yeah.
lot of people were
Previous
fighting for it.
politicians.
Well, I mean,
Yes, yes.
certainly, I don't wanna discount, as you say, previous, we had a long time senator who was pulling on the rope. We had fairly new assemblyman pulling on the rope. We had Walczyk, a brand new
Yeah.
senator, pulling on the rope. I think our chairman of the board, Bill Farber, a lot of work, Jim McKenna, and, the folks who, from Roost, there was, I think, you have to reach out to folks that have more juice than you to the state, and those many, casts. We don't know how many things were fruitful, but I think it was a cumulative
I do
from
too.
all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, with my investment in it, seemed like my perception was that Albany was butting heads with districts, and districts were butting head with Albany, and that cause I contacted Albany, and they said, we're not allowed to say anymore, contact your district.
Right.
So, something must have brought them all together. and
Sure,
said, "Hey,
sure,
this was-"
but sometimes that outside from you, Farley, and all of the friends of friends and the hooks they all have, these guys can look at this and say, this certainly isn't
I
worth
think they
it.
got tired of sending out the same email, David.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
this isn't worth it to have this fight, because we all knew, and I think they have the numbers crunchers, there was not gonna be a tremendous economic savings to them in any of this.
Right.
And when you're spending millions of dollars out of this bucket to come to New York, come to the Adirondacks and so on. I mean, my friends in Massachusetts, my
just
friends in the
before
Finger Lakes,
Labor.
they're all, wow, what a great ad, I guess during football season last. You can't be spending it out of there and then nickel dicking and penny pinching over here.
Yeah, closing it down,
Right.
basically.
Closing it down. Well, good, just one more, attaboy to everyone.
We need those
Campsite
saddle, those.
I have it on here, I didn't know if I wanted to get into it or not.
Okay, maybe not, okay.
So, I will.
Okay.
I'll bring up another
I thought
thing,
something
since
you
you
should
want
bring
a
up.
little
Turn
entertainment.
the punch bowl.
I go to besides for getting my head bitten off at the Moffett Speak Gate over what you just discussed, because they are still being told not to say a word, and nothing's been in writing yet, and
Too late.
this and that and everything else. So, and they're getting a million phone calls why they can't reserve them, and this and that, if this is true, blah, 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 blah. But, on the next thing, came out of the Moffett Speak Gate attendant's mouth, was they were asking for us to not only put some coal patch in some holes on the Moffitt's Beach Road, but also put speed bumps in 2 locations.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I've heard this before, but that road is not technically ours.
It's theirs.
And she said, no, it's yours. Only part of this road that's ours is around the entrance of the gate. And I
Well,
said, really?
I'm just gonna let you know, my friend Kevin Smith, who does this for a hobby, and his wife who does it for a living, they got
Oh, I know.
lots of stuff dating back This is a state road. In fact, there were plans, they didn't do it, to loop it around and bring it out where the
Gate is.
waterfall
that's
is,
supposed-
yeah, I mean,
Where the culvert is.
yeah. So.
And we had New
The
York
history.
State's attorney
Johnny Stewart,
sitting right here in this room for months, at least 6 to 8 weeks, reviewing every one of our books and everything else, going back with records and everything, back when the kid on the bicycle fell and we were
Right.
trying to get them to pave the
Forgot
road
that,
and
yeah.
they wouldn't pave the road because they couldn't figure out ownership. It's not in our CHIPS fund. And I said to this person, I said,
there you
if
go,
this road was in our CHIPS fund,
It'd
I
been
would be
done.
all over that.
sure. You would have done it, you know, as Christ
Yeah.
Leo would have done it.
Before
Right.
Jack
Hamilton
would have
Lake
done it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guess what? Until you get it in writing, and I want it in writing from a higher up, not just
Who's saying this to you, Rand?
Somebody at the gate.
a gate attendant.
Oh, yeah, okay. There you go.
Unnamed.
Well, of course, then of course it's gospel, of course.
Yes, and
They don't
they
even
said
know
their
they're open
boss
yet.
will not let them do anything to the roads because it's our road. And I said, well, tell your boss to go to a very higher up and get it put on my CHIPS funding, and New York State funds me for them, I will do repairs on that
Yeah,
road.
but that's, you might be taking over, what, a mile and a half, if you go all
It's
the
a
way
mile
out
and a half of road.
to Siberia, I mean. and,
What we paved was a mile and a half. And I say we, as in the county, state, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, we'll help them, right, I mean, we would always
help
offer
them.
to help, just like we talked about on the other stuff.
We helped
But
them,
it's there.
we
It's their
put
gig.
culverts in for them.
Yeah, it's that gig.
They paid for all the blacktop, the county did the whole paving thing. And we helped under intermunicipal,
Sure.
help them do it.
And of course,
But
because
it is
that
not our road.
floods right there in their Iggy's, it never lasts, you know, you do this stuff, it's not crowned up enough, it's
Well-
always flooding.
One thing you need to mention with them too, if that's all designated town road except for that little bit about Booth, they cannot keep any person out of there
Correct,
because it's not state.
Yeah,
correct.
you can't have it both ways, Don, right? I mean,
then you had the speed bump
they're just
thing,
speaking
too,
from
if they
two
put it
different.
in.
Yeah, and then they put a speed bump across at the gate.
Yeah,
On the
going
inside, they want one on the outside, and I said, well, the speed bumps go there, fine and dandy, but they need to come out when you shut the place down.
Oh,
Because when we plow it,
true,
Oh.
true,
those
true.
speed bumps are
So
gonna be
you
over
get
there.
those, you get those sort of hard plastic things?
Yes, that's what they have, the hard plastic
Yeah,
little
okay.
speed bump, which is fine and dandy, I'm not gonna say a word to it, you know, cause
But
it's
this-
not our road.
This isn't even Tortorelli
Wait a minute,
talking
so
to you,
why
this
do
is
we-
some.
No,
Why do we, question, why do we plow it then?
because there's
Private
private
land,
land
yeah.
in
Private
it,
land
which pays
past it.
town taxes.
So do we
pays
bill
lots of town
state of
taxes.
New York for their part of the road up to the
No.
private?
So here's Leo's, back in the day of Leo, they used to make us, when Jack was here, apply for a permit to go across, plow their road.
Got it?
They wouldn't pay us for it,
So like
so they
TRP,
told us
Yeah,
we needed a
temporary revocable permit.
permit and a TRP.
I didn't know that.
To go through, used to hang in the office on the wall
Yeah.
and plow that. So Leo said, no. I'm not applying for a permit, you plow it.
Call, yeah, right, exactly.
And then if you don't plow it, then it's your responsibility and liability to all those taxpayers that the fire truck can't get to their house.
Yeah.
And their insurance.
Well, amazingly, we didn't need a TRP anymore to go down there.
Well, it's just amazing to me that after all these years,
That's good history.
and all of this
Yep.
going back and forth, that you got some functionary, some seasonal employee, it's not even Tortorelli, it's not even a boss at that
Nope.
level, saying this sort of stuff. Obviously, it's shit that's been said into their ears or whatever, but everyone knows. It's their road, and we're trying to help you all we can.
If it was our
But
roads,
don't
there'd
try
be a
to-
lot less pine
don't-
trees down that hill, I can tell you that.
Oh, of
the
course.
Getting through there,
Yeah.
2 cars
I can tell you
wide.
that.
Like I said, we'd be
That was
able
good
to park
about that.
along it and everything else.
That's a good
Drive in.
Yeah, see,
So,
that was good conversation.
okay.
Okay,
There.
Neil, anything else?
Oh, no,
You're done.
I'm impressed with all
Kathy's
the
done, everybody's
new
done,
turds in
okay.
the punch bowl.
So
Your
the
turn.
the museum fundraiser is up to $33,446. And one thing I did wanna mention, there's a program called HEAP, which helps seniors on fixed income with their heating bills. Also has now included air conditioners in their program. So if you know any seniors on fixed income, tell them to contact the county because they're entitled.
They'll
Where
buy
do
you
they
one?
determine fixed income?
I'm sorry?
They'll buy you an air conditioner?
Well, it's through the heat program that
So if
that
you
you were
qualify-
supplied,
Well,
they pay for heat in the winter, and I'm
Did
assuming,
not know that.
yeah.
How, that puzzles me. I mean, if you're
Well,
burning
it's-
fuel oil, you can tell how much you use. But
Right.
if if you're using electricity on an air conditioner,
I'm sure that it's a specific air
prorated?
conditioner that they give that comes through the heat program.
they do
So,
supply the air conditioner?
I believe,
or-
yes.
It's probably more like that,
Yep,
supplying
it
the
is.
unit rather than.
Yes.
Than paying for the electric
Yes.
that unit
Yeah.
takes.
But the heat program's been
Just
around a long
wanted to
time.
make sure.
Yep.
It's a good one,
So
right?
that you know that. Oh,
Heat
there you go.
assistance program, yeah.
Next is the museum
Already
telephone
qualified.
has not been working since last Friday. Frontier will be there tomorrow to fix it. I was on the phone today. I was down there at the, no, wait a second. I came back here, I called them back and said I did everything you asked me to do and it's still not working and well, what's it doing, blah, blah, blah. They will be here tomorrow between 1 and 5. So at 5 o'clock today, my cell phone dings and I look at it and we have fixed your phone and blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
If it is not fixed, if it is not,
But we fixed it.
please text back keep our appointment for tomorrow. So I called Shorty, I said, hey, is the phone working? Nope, I have it right here, it's still staticky, it's not working. I said, okay, so keep, so they're on for tomorrow from between 1 and 5.
Right, and all they probably gotta do is switch something in the
In
building.
the brick house.
Yeah,
Oh, that reset.
It kept sending me
Or
those when we
something-
lost internet
or
here, it
something-
kept sending it like so many hours.
Yeah,
Or
for-
something,
we had the
on the
same
outside of the
problem.
box. Shorty had that problem on his house.
Yeah, we had the same problem at our house. It
Okay.
was all staticky,
Yep.
you couldn't call.
And when, it's
And
busy
they,
signal.
they were gonna come, yeah, they were gonna
Same
come,
thing.
they were gonna come, they never came. Finally, the guy knocks on the door, says, is your phone working? And Florence checked it and said, yes. They said, well, we fixed it at the building. This was
So-
after a week.
Do you
and a
know,
half.
was that Adam?
I
The-
do-
I don't know who
regular
it
guy?
was, I wasn't.
I do have a contact of a newer guy, and I'll tell you, he is awesome. So I will be calling him tomorrow to ask him if he's up in this area tomorrow, if he's gonna be the one, and explain, knock on Shorty's door if you need to get in the building. I don't really wanna go sit there from 1 o'clock to 5
No,
o'clock,
that's
you know,
right.
especially if they don't show.
The thing is that it seems like, you know,
Is that it?
you get one thing and you lose another. Our contact of Adam and particularly Johnny Plug, you know, Stewart, was pretty good for that company. And then, of course, we lose him. We gain on the National Grid side with him, contact and help. But then you lose and then you're like, we gotta start new relationships.
We got an
and
awesome
hopefully
one.
this guy
It's
will work.
originally from Pacifico.
Oh,
He lives in
really?
Yeah.
Gloversville.
Wow.
Yeah,
So, and every time I have called him, when we had no internet here, he's
Not
been like
Fred
this.
Knapp's.
Yes.
Oh, it is Fred Knapp's kid. Oh, he's good.
He's awesome, awesome. So, just
He
one
works
question.
for
Have you heard
it's
anything about the
it's a
garbage truck?
utility company.
Nah, I know that.
No secret.
Garbage truck, have we heard anything new on that?
No,
Nothing
It
new
wasn't
on
in
the
your
garbage
report,
truck.
so we figured it's.
garbage truck scared us this morning, but it's all good.
Tomorrow's cleanup day.
I
Yes.
think you
I
ought to
think-
buy special colored decorative
Oh, I got something on the
duct
garbage
tape.
truck.
Okay,
Here's a funny for you.
Oh,
see?
Garbage truck person called me up. You know, actually, I called him about other things, and he says, "Are you in desperate need of a garbage truck?"
no,
I said, "Well, that's why we bought one." Yes, and you seem to be
You
the
sell them, yeah.
Yeah, you seem to be the one that we bought it through. So where are you going with this? And he says, "Well, I'm in the process of purchasing one, just to loan out to people that I bought them because so many of these are not coming in,
Right.
and these people
Bad
that
business
need
model.
a garbage truck for short term until their new one comes, I will have this to loan out.
loan?
Kinda.
Loan."
Loan's nice.
Did
Did
you
not
ask him?
have
That's a lot better than rent.
a
Exactly.
financial gain on it.
So
at
I
all.
would jump at that
Just-
before this.
just so
Well,
it's-
no,
So
here's
this
the
guy
catch.
has
He-
a heart.
Yeah, somewhat.
Interesting.
So I
So wait.
that's where I went. I said, well, how do you determine who gets this here one vehicle
Right.
that you purchased? He goes, I would really greatly appreciate it that yours is broken and not functional before I loan mine out to that. So I said, well, I will keep you in
Insurance
mind.
policy.
That could be arranged.
I know he's a dealer, but how did he get a new truck?
He didn't get a new truck. It's a 2018.
Took it on.
He took it in on a trade.
Right, okay.
Actually, that's a very smart move on
Yeah,
his
and
part.
It
he's-
is. Well,
he's
because
keep-
we're
gonna
not the
keep
only
it,
ones
so-
grumbling.
And-
Yeah,
And you'd never think twice about recommending him to someone
somebody
else
else
to go to.
because of such situation.
Yes,
So
good business.
he said if it's, you
Same
become
as
a
buying a car,
situation where
right?
yours is non-functional, call me.
Yeah, you had buying a car from a guy and you wanna build some goodwill, you
Right.
do that when, well, your car's not in yet, and it's our fault, it's slowing down.
Yeah.
The loaner,
Fix it.
great idea.
Okay,
That's an insurance
so
policy for you.
Yeah,
our next meeting is July 3rd at 7 o'clock at the library. Thank you for coming, Gary. I'm joking. I was gonna thank everybody for coming, but since nobody's here.
No, it's nothing,
Okay,
Gary.
so I'm looking
Thank
for a
God.
motion to adjourn,
So moved.
okay? And,
Second? I'll second.
okay.
Kinda do everything.
No, I don't like to adjourn, I like to be here.